Welcome to Walking with Dementia. I'm Zilani. This is Series 1, Episode 2, and today I want to talk about something many families find deeply unsettling: the lady in the mirror. Now, if you have never experienced this in dementia care, it may sound strange at first. Someone looks in the mirror and they do not recognize the person looking back. They may think it is a stranger. They may think someone else is in the house. They may become frightened, they may become angry, they may start talking to the reflection, or they may quietly avoid the mirror altogether. And for the caregiver standing nearby, it can feel like one of those moments where you don't quite know what to do with your own face. Because part of you wants to explain, part of you wants to laugh nervously because it feels so unexpected, part of you wants to cry, and part of you is thinking, goodness me, we only came to wash hands. How did we end up in a full domestic situation with the bathroom mirror? That is dementia care at home. Ordinary moments can suddenly become very complicated. A hallway mirror, a bathroom mirror, a reflection in the window at night, a shiny oven door, even a dark television screen. Something simple can become confusing, and when it happens, it can shake everyone. Because mirrors are personal. We use them every day without thinking. We brush our hair, we check our clothes, we look at our face and know it is us. But imagine looking in the mirror and not recognizing yourself. Imagine seeing an older person looking back, when inside you feel much younger. Imagine seeing a stranger standing exactly where you are standing. Imagine feeling that someone has entered your private space. That is frightening. So when a person living with dementia says, "Who is that woman?" or "Why is she looking at me?" or "Tell her to go away," we need to remember that in that moment, they may not be pretending. They may not be being difficult. They may be genuinely afraid. And fear deserves care, not an argument, not a lecture, not a dramatic family investigation, just care. Let me paint the kind of scene many people will recognize. You are helping someone get ready in the morning. Maybe it is your mum, maybe your husband, maybe your grandmother, maybe someone you support at home. You go into the bathroom together. You are trying to keep the morning moving. Wash face, brush teeth, clean clothes, maybe breakfast after that. Nice and simple. In your mind, it is a 10-minute job. In dementia care, a 10-minute job is often a bold spiritual ambition. You stand beside them, they look up, they see the mirror, and suddenly their body changes. They pause, their face tightens, they point. Who is that? You look around. There is nobody else there, so you say, "That's you." They look again. No, that woman. And now you feel it, that little drop in your stomach, because you realize they are not joking. They really do not know. They are looking at their own reflection, and it does not feel like them. Your first instinct might be to correct. "No, Mum, that's you. Look properly. That is your reflection." You know that is you, and I understand that instinct, because when something is obvious to us, we often explain it as if more explanation will fix it. But dementia does not always respond to explanation, especially when fear has already entered the room. The person may not need a mirror lesson. They may need safety. They may need the moment softened. They may need you to stop making the mirror the center of the conversation. Because the more you insist, "That is you," the more they may feel trapped between what you are saying and what they are seeing. And that can be frightening. It can also feel humiliating, because nobody wants to be told they do not understand something so basic. Nobody wants to feel foolish in their own bathroom. So instead of pushing the truth hard, we can try responding to the feeling first. If they say, "Who is that woman?" you might say, "She's not going to bother us," or "You're safe, I'm here," or "Let's step this way." Then gently move away from the mirror. Sometimes the best response is not to solve the mirror. It is to reduce the distress, because the goal is not to win the argument. The goal is to help the person feel safe enough to continue the day. There is a difference, a very big difference. Now, this can be hard for families because it feels like a loss. It is one thing to forget where the keys are. It is another thing to not recognize your own reflection. That can hurt the people watching. It can feel like dementia has taken something very intimate, and caregivers may go quiet after a moment like that. They may keep helping, they may keep making breakfast, they may keep smiling, but inside they are thinking, how far has this gone? Is this going to get worse? Who are they seeing when they look at themselves? And those are heavy thoughts to carry while also trying to make porridge. This is why dementia care at home is not just practical work, it is emotional work. You are not only helping someone dress, you are witnessing changes, you are absorbing moments, you are grieving quietly while still being needed. And then someone asks where the sugar is. Life does not pause and give you dramatic background music, it just continues. The washing machine still needs emptying, the post still arrives, the phone still rings, and the person still needs breakfast. That is the quiet madness of care at home, not madness in the person, madness in the amount a caregiver is expected to hold. So, what can help? First, take the fear seriously. Even if the situation looks harmless to you, it may not feel harmless to them. A reflection can feel like another person in the room. And if someone already feels unsure about where they are, who is nearby, or what is happening next, a mirror can add another layer of confusion. So if the mirror causes distress, do not force them to look at it. Do not keep saying, "Look, it's you. Come closer. See, it's your face." That can make things worse. Instead, step beside them. Use a calm voice. Keep your face soft. Say something simple. "You're safe. I'm with you. Let's go this way." Then redirect. Not in a rushed way. Not like you are dragging them away from a crime scene, just gently. The second thing that can help is changing the environment. If a mirror keeps upsetting the person, cover it for part of the day, or remove it from the room if possible, or close the bathroom cabinet, or use softer lighting. At night especially, reflections in windows can become confusing. A dark window can look like someone standing outside. A television screen can become a mirror. Even shadows can join the party uninvited. So close curtains in the evening. Turn on gentle lighting before it gets too dark. Reduce glare. Make the room feel clear and calm. Sometimes we look for complicated solutions when the simple one is, let us cover that mirror before it starts another meeting. There is no shame in changing the environment. That is not giving in. That is good care. Home care is often about making the house work for the person, not forcing the person to keep understanding the house. The third thing is to watch your words. If someone says, "There is a woman in the mirror," try not to say, "No, there isn't," because in their experience, there is. You may know it is a reflection, but they may be seeing a stranger. So instead of arguing with what they see, respond to how they feel. If they are frightened, "She won't hurt you. You're safe with me. Let's go and sit down." If they are curious, "Oh, she's quiet today," then move on. If they are angry, "I can see that's upsetting you. Come away from there. We don't need to bother with that now." The wording does not need to be perfect. This is not a theater performance. Nobody is handing out awards for best dementia response in a bathroom scene, but the tone matters. Calm, brief, steady. And if you get it wrong, which you will sometimes, repair the moment. Lower your voice. Slow down. Try again. That is care, not perfection. Repair. There is also another side to this. Sometimes the mirror does not frighten the person. Sometimes they may talk to the reflection. They may smile. They may think it is a friend. They may wave. They may have a whole conversation while you stand there holding a towel, wondering whether you are now a third wheel in your own bathroom. In that case, you do not always need to interrupt. If it is not causing distress, let it be. Not every unusual moment needs correcting. Sometimes families feel they must bring the person back to reality immediately. But ask yourself, is this harmful? Is this upsetting them? Is anyone unsafe? If the answer is no, you may not need to step in. A peaceful moment is allowed to be peaceful, even if it looks unusual to us. Dementia care is not about correcting every sentence. It is about supporting the person through the day with dignity. And dignity does not always mean forcing facts. Sometimes dignity means allowing comfort. Sometimes dignity means protecting someone from unnecessary embarrassment. Sometimes dignity means saying less. That one is hard for many of us because we like to explain, we like to fix, we like to be right. And dementia care regularly says, "That is nice, dear. Now try being useful." Useful is often quieter than right. Useful may be closing a curtain. Useful may be moving a chair. Useful may be changing the subject. Useful may be saying, "Come and have tea with me." Not because tea solves dementia, if only, but because tea can soften a moment. A cup, a chair, a familiar smell, a simple task. These things can help bring a person back into a safer feeling. That is the work, small things done gently, repeated often. Now, I want to speak to the caregiver for a moment. If the lady in the mirror has frightened you, you are not overreacting. It is a hard thing to see, especially when the person is someone you love. You may remember them as strong, sharp, funny, neat, independent. The person who always checked the mirror before leaving the house. The person who would never go out with one collar folded in and one collar pointing towards another postcode. And now they may not recognize the face looking back. That is painful. You are allowed to feel that. You do not have to turn every painful moment into a lesson immediately. Sometimes you just notice it, you breathe, you get through the morning, and later, when you have a quiet moment, you let yourself feel what you could not feel in the bathroom. Because caregiving often delays emotion. You feel it later, in the kitchen, in the car, in bed, while washing cups, while pretending you are fine. That is common. But try not to carry it alone. Talk to someone safe. Write it down. Ask for help. Mention it to the GP, memory clinic, or relevant professional if it is new, sudden, or causing distress. Not because you have failed, but because changes matter, and you should not have to guess your way through everything. Families are expected to become experts overnight. One day you are a daughter, husband, son, friend, neighbor. Next thing, you are expected to understand medication, moods, meals, risk, routines, sleep, communication, appointments, safety, and now apparently mirror diplomacy. It is a lot. So be kind to yourself. The aim is not to handle every moment beautifully. The aim is to keep learning how to make the next moment safer and softer. Let us return to the mirror. What does the person need? They may need the mirror covered. They may need the bathroom routine changed. They may need someone to stand beside them, not behind them. They may need fewer words. They may need reassurance before explanation. They may need you to stop saying, "That's you," and start saying, "You're safe." That shift matters because when we respond to the fear underneath, the moment may settle more quickly. Not always. There are no magic lines. Dementia care does not come with guaranteed results and a neat little refund policy. Some days the same response works beautifully. The next day it fails like a cheap umbrella in British rain. That does not mean you are doing it wrong. It means the condition changes, the mood changes, the tiredness changes, the environment changes, the person changes from moment to moment. So we observe, we adjust, we try again. That is home care. Let me offer a simple phrase to remember. Do not argue with the reflection. Respond to the reaction. If the reaction is fear, bring safety. If the reaction is anger, bring calm distance. If the reaction is confusion, bring simplicity. If the reaction is comfort, maybe leave it alone. The mirror is not always the main issue. The feeling is. That is what we are listening for. And sometimes the kindest thing is to remove the mirror from the story completely. Close the door, cover the glass, move to another room, offer a familiar task. Let the moment pass, because not every situation needs a conversation. Some situations need a quiet exit. Before we finish, I want to say this. The lady in the mirror is not just a strange dementia moment. It is a human moment. It reminds us that dementia can change how a person understands the world around them. But it also reminds us that our response can either increase fear or reduce it. We cannot always change what the person sees, but we can change what they feel from us. A steady voice, a soft face, a calm hand, a small change in the room, a gentle redirection. These things may look small, but in dementia care at home, small things are not small. They are often the difference between distress and calm, between shame and dignity, between a difficult morning and a morning that can still continue. So if the person you care for sees someone in the mirror, pause. Do not rush to correct. Do not panic. Do not turn it into a debate. Ask yourself, are they frightened? Are they safe? What can I do to soften this moment? Then answer the feeling, not just the facts. Because sometimes the person in the mirror is not the problem. The fear of not understanding what they are seeing is the problem. And when we understand that, we can care differently. This has been Walking with Dementia. Real conversations about dementia care at home. Thank you for listening. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone caring for a loved one at home. And if you have experienced something like the lady in the mirror, I would like to know. What helped you make that moment feel safer? Until next time, keep walking gently.